What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the CotAcasT. My name is Brian Bermudez, and I'm the host of the Craft of the Air podcast. The podcast not just for aviation enthusiasts and professionals, but also those with a general interest in aviation. Join us on our journey as we explore the horizon of aviation together. I have a special guest. Before we get to the good stuff, first things first, today's episode of the CotAcasT is brought to you by Craft of the Air. Stop memorizing outdated content and rereading textbooks without really understanding your aviation content. If you're looking to obtain your FAA airframe and powerplant licenses, Craft of the Air offers personalized learning sessions remotely from the convenience of your house. Are you tired of searching endlessly for unreliable data? You're going on Reddit, you're going here, you're asking this person, you're not sure what's real, what's facts, what's not. Are you in the field of aviation and need help accomplishing your next big project? Consulting by Craft of the Air is the second you when you need anything aviation. To visit www.craftoftheair.com. Again, that's www.craftoftheair.com today and speak with a federally licensed professional. Craft of the Air, our craft is of the air. All right, David. So we're here with we've been leading up to it, and I wanted to get somebody on the podcast, actual aircraft mechanic and A&P, and we introduced David Castillo, one of my best friends, David Castillo. Yes, What's up, David? Me. Welcome to the show, bro.
What's up? No, thanks for having me in the show. It's been
bro, of course.
It's been a good minute. We haven't met up. We always
for real, man. And thank you for being on, man. And David's gonna be a regular voice, somebody that's on a lot of CotAcasT to come. But yeah, man, and especially the pandemic. The pandemic definitely, man, it changed aviation. And it's crazy.
Downsized businesses, companies went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So non-aviation business.
So wait, I mean, this is a perfect opportunity because without saying any names of any companies, I asked the perspective of an actual A&P that's an A&P line maintenance. David, for those of you for the students or those of the people maybe listening and they're not aware of what an A&P line mechanic is, what's line maintenance as opposed to hangar maintenance? What's a line mechanic?
Well,
what do you do?
So line maintenance, we're working on the line, of course, literally at the gates. And then your other type of maintenance, like for example, overhaul maintenance, that would be in the hangar. But let's take line maintenance into consideration. So literally working at the gates. If you have to do any engine work, like replacing oil filter or air oil pre-cooler, or even a borescope, it's at the gate. Depends on the airlines and their capabilities in terms of if they have the space of a hangar. Then you would have the airplane in the hangar. But if the airline can't afford the hangar or whatever the case may be, so you gotta work the plane, at the gate. Just like how the job description would say, work under any types of weather conditions.
We're gonna get there. Let's go there.
Working under any type of weather conditions, regardless.
Do we? You like how I'm phrasing this? Pointing it toward. I'm pointing the question towards David. Do you actually do A&Ps work in all weather conditions? I guess people listening right now that are not aware of an A&P mechanic, somebody that fixes aircraft. I mean, we work at night. A lot of us work at night, yeah. Right? And do we work in all conditions? Rain, snow?
Yes. We work under all types of weather conditions. Rain, sleet, snow, hail, you name it. And I would say up in New York, up here in New York and the New Jersey area, you get used to it, but it does get it does get to you.
Yeah.
But when you're in AP school, you don't think about that. You think of I want to be a successful mechanic, making money, of course. Just having fun with your money, I would say.
And that's definitely something to think about. And now that you say that, David, what do you think? You mentioned being a successful mechanic. What do you think makes a successful mechanic? Coming on time, because David, and I'm not saying this just to say it on the podcast, but David, when we worked together, we were new A&Ps, just out of A&P school. David was actually an A&P longer than me. He was there. How many months were you there at that company?
By the time you came in, probably had like 2-3 months.
2-3 months.
Not much.
And I was, and it was a regional airline, and they actually paired me with David because David was pretty good with everything, and they were supposed to show me the ropes of the service checks and whatnot. And it's anyway. Getting back to that, like it's. I remember David coming into work, and David would come into work an hour early.
Oh yes.
He would come in an hour early, bro.
It's funny because I was one of the guys that lived the farthest in New York, working in Jersey, and I was the first one there.
You are, yes. I forgot about that.
And the closer you are
from another state,
right? And the closer you are from work, those were the guys that lived closer and closer to the airport were the ones getting into work closer and closer to the clock-in time.
It's fun, yeah.
But the fact that that you live so close to home, it pushes you to leave your house later.
It does, yeah.
There's a saying for that. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's in reference to what I just said. You're so close to work that it just makes you leave the house later, and then you're running and breaking your balls, trying to clock in on time. I was always the first one there.
It's like one of the worst feelings, and we all do it at some point. You wake up in a panic because you snooze your alarm, and then now you're running late, and so you gotta hurry up to get ready for work. You gotta get your uniform ready, and speaking
food,
about
those little things.
The food, yep. Working night shift, you gotta have a plan ready for what you're gonna eat. And speaking about getting prepared, that getting prepared for the night. Now, go us about that, because now a lot of listeners, maybe students and professionals that work in airports and regions of the country and around the world where it's not such a populated airspace, but we work in an area that we have international airports.
Yes, international.
And very, very large airports. And we don't necessarily get to park right up to the hangar, pull up to the hangar, park our car, and walk right into this major airport. Walk us through what it entails getting ready for work at night. Like if your shift starts at 6 p.m., what time do you actually have to wake up?
So let's say your shift starts at 6 p.m. You have to take into consideration the time that you need to, of course, prep some food. Well, it's part of the prep process. Let's just say get ready for work. You need to take into consideration that time that takes you to get ready, and then the time that it'll take you to get from if you park at an employee lot at the airport, so the time that it'll take you to get from the employee lot to the terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Because in some airports you would either take, as a matter of fact, in the one that I work in, the New York area, I'll take a employee bus from the lot to the terminal, and just that span right there of waiting for the bus to get to the terminal.
Yes.
We're talking about 30 minutes. Longer than my actual commute from home to work, which takes 10 minutes.
Yes.
And those are the little details that have to be taken into consideration. To get to work on time. And like we always have said, and it's being said now as we speak in school and classes, on-time performance. On-time attendance
Now, not now. We go through that. Now what's a typical night? Now I remember, typically, we'll come in. We'll come in. We'll see. Now for us in a regional, it was a little bit of a different setup. Different airlines are different, but we got a list of the aircraft that are coming in that night.
Right.
And we got probably a list of the staff and the lead mechanics.
Right. The manpower, like we say, the crew chiefs in. Literally the manpower list. Every airline calls it different, but let's just go with one, for instance, which I work for. Call the manpower. We see everybody that's in, that calls sick, on vacation, swaps, like we say, picking up for like another guy or female. We always say guy. There's also female mechanics out there.
Yep.
Really great mechanics, better than some of us guys.
One that we actually worked with at a regional that, and I'm not just saying this because we're on a podcast, but she was a really good mechanic, man.
Yes, she's listening. Yasina, I believe that's how you say her name.
Yeah, what's
like,
it?
Yeah, it's been years, but remember Yasina.
Yeah, I only got the opportunity to work with her a couple of times.
Really quiet, but
very quiet,
stuff,
but very intelligent.
Those are the ones you have to watch out for. The good
ones. Yes.
The really quiet ones. We try the good ones.
Smart ones.
Yeah.
The break room, a mechanic and an aircraft mechanic break room is interesting, to say the least. It's and I feel like it's this way everywhere. It's this brotherhood, and because a lot of times you spend more time with these guys than your own family,
and you would consider the job your home.
Yeah.
The coworkers, your family.
Yeah. And yeah.
Management, like your mom and pops, let's say, literally, because they be yelling at you.
And it's kind of a thing, like it's like a relationship. Like the first day that you're at this company and you go into the break room, either you just get along with everybody or you don't.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
That's the first date, literally.
That's it. And the guys and everybody just gets together, and it's usually a group that everybody's like the brothers, and then it's just like a couple that are just like, all right, I just want to come in and do my time.
Yeah, because let's say with me and Brian, I don't remember how we clicked, but I remember one of the conversations that I always start off when I meet anybody, more like a guy. It'll be about cars. I love cars. That's my passion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember I was kicking off like that. And then, look at us now. It's a years later, still in communication.
Better cars now.
Yes.
Better cars now.
Better cars. Because at that time, it was just, you needed a chassis to get over.
We needed a vehicle to get there. And we were covered in grease when we left.
Yeah. But it just shows you how, you got to start from the bottom. Work your way up. Work hard.
What do you think we most recovered then as new mechanics? Because we worked on a plane, a 145 XR. So that plane was kind of old. She was about 12 years old. I don't think Skydrill so much. Jet A, I think I got on a couple of times. What do you think was one of the biggest things that guys would come back into the office and they say, man, I know the 145 had a lot of hydraulic issues.
Yeah.
I got
Skydrill
issue
during the winter.
Yes.
ECM, all that stuff. Tax issues, yes.
It's bringing you back nightmares.
Yes. Hey, now that we're talking about nightmares and these critical jobs under extreme weather conditions, remember that one night we were changing, I believe, might be wrong, the anti-ice valve on the engine. We were on the engine, on the pylon in particular.
Yes.
It was literally
in treacherous conditions.
Yes. It was literally. It got to a point where we were on the pylon, top of the engine. For people that don't know what it is, mind you, the aircraft surface is painted. When something's painted, it's slippery. It's a soft, soft feeling. It's just slippery, so you have no grip up there.
It's not like the wing roots where there's like that sandpaper type.
Yes.
It doesn't have that on the pylon.
Right.
And this is a 145, so when Dave was speaking about the pylon, it's kind of high up the ground. We were kind of, the engines are not as like a Boeing The engines were on the vertical stab, so they were kind of up there.
Yeah. And yeah, so it was just crazy insane. And mind blowing how they had us working under those conditions, you know?
But they get the job done.
But you got the job done. I remember it was a confined space to work on.
Let's run through some just fun questions that we just think of. And then we'll go into like the best things about being a mechanic, right?
Yes.
What's your favorite tool? Being an A&P.
My favorite tool.
Your go-to. Is it your Leatherman? I know you used to use a Leatherman a lot. You had a Gerber?
Well, no, I had a cheap one.
You had a Gerber, right? Oh, yes.
No, I don't think I had a Gerber. I had some cheap brand from Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my go-to tool, it'll be my Leatherman.
Okay.
My Leatherman. For those that don't know what's Leatherman, it's a multi-purpose tool. Literally, you have 5 tools or 10 tools in one. You have your Phillips screwdriver, flathead, a knife. Some of them an adapter.
Little scissor. Little scissor.
Scissors, yes.
It has a little, and so you can flip it around. It has a little Phillips head and a flathead in it.
Yes. And this tool is so handy and so good that
Leatherman, pay us.
Yes, this tool is so amazing and so useful that when we started at our first regional airline, when we were in training, the instructor warned
Yo,
used to wear one.
Yes.
You know,
did it?
We learned a lot. Good instructor,
he
pretty.
Had about a 4-hour commute. I remember. Didn't he say that he drove like 3 hours one way and then 3 hours the opposite way? Something. And
that just shows guys' dedication and you know what you do.
No, he was really good though. I did learn some stuff from that class.
Fall asleep.
No, let me ask you something about that, David. For the people that are listening, a lot of people are not aware that when you first become a mechanic, a lot of people work night shifts. Yes. How was it adjusting to night shifts and you know, after adjusting to night shifts when you're off, like you are today, how do you adjust to staying up like the rest of the world and going to sleep and then just switching that up when you have to work at night?
Well, for some people it's a little difficult. For me, it's easy. For me, I would try to let's say my days off.
Get the car detailed.
I will,
First things first.
First things
priorities.
First. Do your personal life.
Get the car detailed.
Yeah, get that done.
No, but so David, what time you usually actually like after you get something to eat once you get home? Like what time we usually typically go to sleep? I remember back in the day, I wouldn't get to sleep till around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well, on my days off, I would try to go to sleep no later than, I'll say, 12 a.m., 1 a.m. So that way I can get my 8 hours of sleep. I'll be up super early in the morning, 8, 9, and then enjoy my day and go on from there. Even though I wouldn't have plans, but just to see the sun out in my living room, at least I know I'm off. Now, when it comes my Monday, like tomorrow, at work, tomorrow night, Sunday night, so then I would try to go to bed late, so I would wake up later in the day, and then just stay up from there. Or if you end up waking early because you have to run some errand, then you would take a little nap before work. It's just on your Mondays, starting your a work week is pretty difficult. Yeah, but after that, then you're back on your sleep routine, and then it's all good. But me personally, I would adapt quick to it.
Some people are better than others. I know some guys that are just like they can't adapt to it. They gotta work day shifts. Some people will never work a day shift ever.
But now that you mentioned
day shift or night shift, David?
Day shift, huh?
What do you prefer? What are your hopes? Would you like to stay on night shift? Have you gotten adapted to it, or would you like to go to day shift one day?
I would like to go to day shift one day because, you know, now I'm talking out of perspective. I'm single, no kids. But let's say in the instance when that day comes, which it will, one of these days.
Yep.
I would have to do the sacrifice of either doing afternoon shift, which kills your whole day. Typically, it'll, depending on the airline, but typically it'll be a start a start time of 2 p.m. ending at 10:30 at night. Just right in the smack in the middle of the day, you know. But if I do have the option to make it afternoon shift or morning shift, like 6 to 2:30 or something like that, you know, you do it more for your family, because at this point, you know, it's more for the fam. And yeah.
What do you think is the best part about being an aircraft mechanic, in your opinion?
Oh, a payday.
Flight benefits.
Yes, payday, especially
Let's talk.
the young guys out there that are always willing to pick up hours overtime, which I include myself in it too. It's just awesome.
Without saying too much, there's money to be made out there.
Yes, there is.
There is money to be made.
What you got to do, guys, is just make it through school. Like instructors told me, make it through school. After you pass your tests and you have that certification, Airframe Power Plant Airman Certificate. Once you have that in your wallet, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like after that,
and the possibilities could be an AMP.
Training would be a little difficult, but nothing too crazy. But the hardest part would be just passing your AMP. After you pass your AMP test, you get certified. You have that Airframe certificate in your wallet. You're sitting on it on your ass, on your couch. That's it. From there, it just gets easier.
And what we always say, David, you walk in with that license, you leave with it every night. Make sure you leave with that license.
The same way you walk into your workplace, your 10 fingers, 10 feet.
Yes.
That's the same condition that's the same condition that you leave in the morning.
With that license intact, that you did everything you could to make that aircraft as safe as possible. I always say this, and me and David used to say this as partners.
Safe, guys. That's literally the bottom line. Safe.
Yeah, you always treat the plane like our family's getting on it in the morning.
Yes, like it's your car. If you care about your car, I know a lot of people out there are careless. But you treat it like what has value in your life.
Yeah.
You treat it as your wife, if you value that. Your wife.
Okay. Wait a minute.
You treat it as something valuable. You make pretend as your family's flying on that plane, if you love your family. And just, you know.
All right, well, David, this is somebody that we're gonna have many more CotAcasT. This is our expert in the field, and we'll definitely get the feedback from everybody. David, thank you so much for coming on this
thank
episode.
you. It's been a pleasure.
And you're gonna be on this for a while.
Yes.
Man. We're gonna be working on our next topic. Yeah, man. All right, David. It was a pleasure having you guys.
It was a pleasure for you too, Brian.
Thank. Well, we gotta call it there. It's been a great episode of the CotAcasT. That about wraps it up for this week's episode. You guys are gonna want to stay tuned for more episodes of chatting with AMPs, aircraft mechanics. But that about wraps up for this episode. Thanks for listening, guys. If you guys have not done so already, please take this opportunity to check out the Craft of the Air website at www.craftoftheair.com and get your it's free, your initial consultation today. Craft of the Air, our craft is of the air. Again, thanks guys for listening today. Be sure to follow the Craft of the Air Instagram for the latest CotAcasT episode updates, and follow us or leave us a review on Spotify podcast. We're also on Apple Podcasts. Stay safe, guys, and have a great day.